I am Michael Monti. I am the CEO of Champlain Housing Trust. I want to welcome you to CHT's annual meeting. And let me just say it's my pleasure to introduce Jeff Smith, who is our board president. Jeff has undertaken the role of president this year and for the first time, and has done a remarkable job. Not only has he dived headfirst into the work, leading the various nuances of a fairly complex organization as its board chair, but he's done it with grace and humility and a bit of sense of humor, all while supporting his family and remaining engaged in his work and community. So welcome, Jeff. Thank you.
I didn't have to pay him that much to say that. I got off easy. Michael, that can be a donation to CHT. Good evening. My name is Jeff Smith, and please, I'd like to welcome you to the 2023 Champlain Housing Trust annual meeting. As Michael said, I'm the board president, and I want to thank you all for coming. I want to recognize my fellow board members who I'm so blessed to serve with, and the nominees who are here tonight that are pictured right there. And I'd like to ask all of the board members to maybe stand and wave so we can all see you, because if you're a board member, if you're a nominee as well, please, nominee. We have these little questions. We have these little things. If it says, "Ask me about being a board member or service." So if you see somebody and want to and have questions, please let us know throughout the night. So I speak for all of us when I say that the annual membership meeting is something we all look forward to each year to get to spend time with both residents and supporters. And I'd like to start with some very basic stuff. This is our first time back in person at the Hilton since January of 2020. So that is fantastic. We're happy to have you all here. We had almost 350 members register for this evening for the meeting and dinner. And we're thrilled to be able to have a number of friends and members who can't join us in person join us via Zoom. While we can't interact directly with our live stream fans, there will be polls that will appear on screen so you can vote on important issues in business, and we're going to record the meeting for you. So, first order of business is to approve the minutes from the January 27, 2022 annual membership meeting. These were made available to you and have been on our webpage, and we've also made hard copies available here tonight. So I'd like to start by asking my dear friend Kate if I can get a motion to adopt the minutes.
So moved.
Thank you, Kate. And then I have another dear friend sitting right there. Naima, can I get a second?
Second.
Amen, all right. For those of you that are at home, we'll launch our first poll now. So please click by voting yes or no to adopt the minutes, and then click the submit button at the bottom of the poll window. We're going to give you a few seconds to do so. So if I had a joke to tell you right now, I would. I did not come prepared for a joke. So we'll just give a few minutes, and then I'm going to find Addie says so Addie is in charge here truly. I'm working for Addie tonight. So when Addie gives me the thumbs up, we're good to go. So now you guys, this is where where you guys get to participate in this fantastic meeting. So for those of you with us in person, if you vote I would like for you to vote in favor of approving those minutes if you would like to do so. So please say yay. Yay. All right. Any voting against the approval of the minutes, please say nay. Wow. That didn't take long. So do I have to wait longer? No. See, that was unanimous. So there we go. Thank you for approving the minutes of our previous annual meeting. So with that done, the business portion of my time right now done, I'd like to share some highlights from this past year in my president's report that I was so ably assisted with Chris and Addie. So on their help, they put this together for me tonight. So I'm happy to report that CHT is rising to the challenges for more affordable housing in ways that are both transformational and consistent with our mission. Over 2,500 families live in our residential rental housing alone, from group homes to apartments throughout the 3 counties of northwestern Vermont. Our apartments are affordable, safe, and in great condition. In the past year, CHT housed a little over 250 new families in rental housing. About a third of them were formerly homeless. Right now, over 450 families, formerly homeless families, live in our housing. A very important piece. And there is the Days Inn we recently purchased. We've also provided emergency housing for thousands of others at our 2 motels throughout the pandemic. We recently closed 1 motel that was no longer needed for emergency housing, the Ho-Hum, if you know that. And we're turning that into 20 affordable apartments for people who have been unhoused. Last year, we moved Harbor Place, our emergency hotel on Shelburne Road, to the former Days Inn across the street. And we're redeveloping the former Harbor Place site into affordable apartments and homes, a really exciting project. In addition to that, we're managing the pod shelter community in downtown Burlington in partnership with the City of Burlington and others. And I always feel like there's this we're doing and there's that we're doing. CHT is always working to find new projects to participate. We also converted the Town Place Suites in Williston to Zephyr Place. I was just there today. I got a haircut, and I saw Zephyr Place. It looked fantastic. So 38 apartments were recently where we placed people in who have been experiencing homelessness. And at the end of the month, another 34 additional apartments will be ready. We are committed to making homelessness rare and brief. Our resident services group provided nearly 4,000 instances of services to 430 residents. That's a huge accomplishment. And what I really like to say is that really connecting people to needed services, they're building community, responding to crisis. This is an amazing team of people, and I want to give our resident services team a hand for their work. This work doesn't happen without a lot of things happening. So this was made possible by the unprecedented funding allocated through the state of Vermont for affordable housing and the very generous support of so many of our community members that are here with us today. We have 560 new apartments in various stages of development in Burlington, Colchester, Williston, South Burlington, Shelburne, and St. Albans. Today, 671 families are in affordable homes that they own because of CHT. They're building wealth and creating legacy for their families. 52 families moved into home ownership over this past year alone, in part by the completion of 20 large family condominiums in Winooski, Butternut Grove. Just a fantastic project. We're now gearing up to create home ownership opportunities for hundreds more in South Burlington, Shelburne, Heinsberg, and Burlington. Another great stat, over 700 households participated in home education and counseling, helping them to be ready to buy a home, whether it be a shared equity home or any home in the market. One of the greatest challenges that we face, this is a challenge for all of us, is to ensure that we do this work and with the goal of achieving racial equity for people of color. Over 35% of our renters are people of color. The intersection of race, justice, and housing is very real. We've been able to expand our efforts in this area with support from the New England Federal Credit Union. We launched the Homeownership Equity Program. We're providing direct support to BIPOC families through counseling and education and through down payment assistance. Our down payment assistance program is one of the most unique programs I've ever been a part of. It's actually the first of its kind in this country, using what is called a special purpose credit program. And as a matter of course, we now provide homeownership classes in 6 languages. Over the past year, CHT has provided over 85 low or no interest loans to support housing affordability, security, and stability, with another 100 loans in process. That team is busy. Our loans provide new and decent and safe housing for farm laborers, mobile home buyers, low-income homeowners, and for landlords that are looking to assist in bringing their properties up to code. But we're not done. We're always doing something else. In Winooski, we're working on a plan to revitalize the O'Brien Community Center with the Community Health Centers of Burlington. In Burlington, we're working on expanding Feeding Chittenden. In Burlington, we're also looking at building a new veteran center downtown. we continue to deepen our partnerships with community-based organizations led by people of color and create restorative systems within our properties. Community engagement is rapidly expanding at CHT, building leaders and building community. And one of our outgoing board members, John Olson, we talked about this, and this was something that was near and dear to his heart. Now, our no longer new CEO, Michael Monty, completed his second year of service. And I would say in this fabulous fashion, he has more stamina and work and a work ethic that I admire and will model myself after. So, we are fortunate to live in a very giving community. I just found out that 2 of our attendees this evening have connections to my roots in West Virginia. Fantastic, wonderful people that continue to give to CHT. We have amazing local partners, state agencies, and programs, and still, I told somebody this, I was in West Virginia for 3 weeks, and I told somebody, we have the best federal delegation in America, and a dedicated staff, and a dedicated board, and I'd like to pay particular thanks to any staff that are here right now. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the work that you do. It's very important. So we look forward to 2023 with great hope for our community's future. Now I get to have the great pleasure of introducing a person who I think is a tremendous leader in our community and one of the smartest people I've ever met, the amazing Sarah Robinson with our Treasurer's Report.
The lights went down and then came back up. Before we start our treasurer's report, if there's anyone that, you know this is the really fun part when the lights go down. If there's anyone that would like a copy of the annual report with the financial statements, just give a wave and our staff will circulate and would be happy to drop one off for you. So, see a few hands in the back. Great. And over here, wonderful. Well, thank you, Jeff, and good evening, all. I'm Sarah Robinson. I'm a general member of the CHT board, and I'm serving as the board's treasurer. And it's my pleasure tonight to present Champlain Housing Trust's financial report to you. I am pleased to report that CHT continued to manage and steward the organization's finances professionally, with transparency, and using strict financial safeguards. Our audit and financial management review of CHT's finances by external independent organizations have all been clean, without findings, and without any management recommendations. That deserves a little bit of a clap, yeah. And this is really a clear reflection of our staff's commitment to the organization's financial management. The board takes its responsibility for the oversight of the organization's finances very seriously as well. The board's Audit and Finance Committee reviews financial reports each month, and the board reviews them quarterly. I can also confidently report that CHT's financial health is strong. Income exceeds expenses, and the overall assets of the organization continued to grow this year. Due to the continued availability of COVID relief and American Rescue Plan, or ARPA, funding, we were able to once again access resources to maintain our commitment to our existing programs, while also supporting our community in new and exciting ways. Our total revenues, including significant grants to buy property directly, were $46 million, while our expenses were about $28 million. This resulted in an increase of almost $11 million in net assets. Most of this increase comes from our strong real estate development activities. It provides us with the strength and stability to take on new projects that others cannot, and allowed us to be innovative in creating more affordable housing opportunities for those who desperately need them. A couple of examples, some that you heard about from Jeff, include our motel conversions to provide permanent housing to those who are chronically unhoused, as well as our commitment to equity by rolling out the area's first program to help home ownership opportunities for BIPOC community members. This year's financial report clearly demonstrates CHT's ability to manage mission, risk, and financial stability successfully so that the organization can remain strong and impactful now and far into the future. So thank you so much for your continued support. It is my absolute pleasure to serve as your treasurer. And I'd like to welcome up our board secretary, Antoinette Bennett-Jones, and our chief administrative and financial officer, Cheryl Reed, for staff recognitions. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Antoinette Bennett-Jones, and I am here to recognize some amazing people. I have had the pleasure of serving on the board for 2 years, and I'm honored to be standing here on behalf of the board and staff recognizing a number of individuals for their many years of dedication to this amazing organization. Sorry. So could you, the honorees, make their way to the stage? After I say your name.
Not just me. You know who you are.
Sorry.
Joanne, Josie, Chip. Come on. Come on.
Okay, so I wasn't hallucinating. Sorry. So the board has had the long-standing tradition of publicly recognizing the significant staff anniversaries at the annual meetings. This provides us with an opportunity to bring attention to the work that staff overall and highlight the specific individuals who have achieved milestone anniversaries. This year, the board has decided to recognize milestone anniversaries starting with 5 years of service. While we present these recognitions, please hold your applause until the end. On behalf of the CHT Board of Directors, I want to thank the following individuals for their service. Chip, and I'm sorry if I hack your name, that's a Southerner in me.
Patello.
Thank you. My sidekick for the evening. Chip Patello for his dedication and commitment to managing complex construction projects that keep CHT's portfolio safe and in good repair. Thank you, Chip. Joanne Botker. I love it. Joanne Botker for her dedication and commitment to identifying, tracking, and planning for capital needs to preserve CHT's portfolio. Thank you. Thank you, Joanne. Hannah Gale for her dedication and commitment to providing high-quality personnel service to CHT's applicants, guests, and tenants. Thank you, Hannah. Addie Livingston for her dedication, commitment, and attention to detail, inclusive and equity while supporting CHT board and leadership. Thank you, Addie. So a few people couldn't be here with us tonight, but we want to recognize them. Tone Cantrell for his thoughtfulness and commitment to CHT staff and home ownership center team. Todd Levine for his support of CHT's guests and tenants as a member of property management team. Bob Kingston for his support of CHT's administrative and property maintenance team. David Dumas for his dedication and commitment to provide high-quality maintenance services at his assigned property. Thank you all. Now for the 10 years. Donald Williams for his dedication to and support of CHT's tenants as a key member of the property management team. Caitlin Sicard for her outstanding dedication and contributions to CHT's accounting team. And now for the 15 years, Danessa Macias, who couldn't be here with us tonight, but who we practically appreciate for her commitment to keeping headquarters clean and comfortable. And now for the big boys. For our 20 years, Jeff Bergeron for his leadership and commitment to quality of CHC's maintenance team. Thank you. And finally, Josie Curtin for her outstanding commitment to leadership for CHT's property and management team. Staff, please huddle together and smile for a quick group photo. I don't know who's taking pictures. Thank you. I know you all will join me in sharing sincere appreciation for all of the extraordinary work done by these staff members. I will now ask Jeff to return to the podium for board elections.
Oh, I've got my own, thank you very much. Because I had to change some of the words, I'm sorry, Chris. All right, so as part of the business meeting, we have to elect board members. Tonight, we have 3 excellent candidates up for election this year. One candidate is a resident board member seat, and we have 2 public member seats. So I want to thank everybody who expressed interest in board service, and anyone who would like to learn more about board or committee service can visit our website or call our office. So before voting, I would like to invite each candidate to stand and find a microphone and say a few words about themselves. And I know some of them are really prepared tonight. So our first vote of these board elections is for our resident member seat. These positions are elected by CHT residents only. So Lisa Lord is our co-op member renter representative, and she's running for her first term. Lisa, please head over to the mic and introduce yourself to everybody. Hi, Lisa.
All right. Hey, there we go.
All right.
Well, hi, good evening. I'm Lisa Lord, and I'm talking to Jeff right now.
Look right at me, right at me.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Lord, and I'm one of the original members of the Bright Street Co-op. I never thought that I would find myself with questionably secure housing until the day that I did. I have a lot of gratitude for the work that CHT does to increase access to affordable housing and to housing for our community members who are experiencing homelessness. I would like to serve on the CHT board and contribute to the organization's work because secure and affordable housing is needed to be able to focus on any other parts of one's life, and because everyone deserves a place to call home. Living at Bright Street, I see the cooperative housing model in action, and here's a neighbor. It not only creates affordable housing, it creates intentional communities. As a representative of the Co-op Advisory Committee on the CHT board, I will do my best to listen to and represent the voices of all CHT co-op members. Thank you.
I always like standing up here because when I can take a moment, I get to look out and see people that I know, and my friend Ross, who's right here, I don't get to see very much. It's just fun. It's really nice to get to see you all here. So, and I see Brenda in the background, and she's gonna be mad at me for pointing her out over there. Brenda Torpy, please, really quick. And if I'd had a mic in my hand after Lisa said that, I would have dropped it, because that was really well done, Lisa. Well done, well done. So as I said, resident board members are elected by residents only. So if you rent from CHT, live in a CHT co-op, or live in a shared equity home, we ask you to please vote. This is your time to express your voice. So everyone else who is here but is not a resident, please sit tight and sit on your hands until the next set of elections. Antoinette, where did Antoinette go? Right here. Right there. You went too far out of my field of sight. Can I get a motion to approve the election of Lisa Lord as a resident board member? Oh, right, we're moving, okay. And there I see Isuf, my friend, who is so well-dressed tonight. Can I get a second, Isuf? Second. All right. And then for those of you watching the live stream, we will now open the polls for voting by CHT residents for the election of Lisa Lord for her first term as resident board member. All other non-resident members present, please refrain from voting by either closing the poll window or selecting not a resident. Now we'll have that quiet silence for a few minutes. Oh, wow, it's already good to go. I didn't have to wait. We're good. Okay. So has Lisa Lord been elected as the, oh, we have to do the vote in person. Bob, I'm looking at you, Bob. I'm looking at you, buddy. I'm trying. I didn't follow my script, sorry. For those of you residents who are here in person and would like to vote yes in favor of Lisa's election, please say aye now. Aye. Any voting nay? That's fantastic. So now we can say congratulations to Lisa. All right, next up is the election of our public board members, and we've got some fantastic people for you. And these folks are elected by the full membership, residents, donors, everybody that's here today. And I'll invite each candidate to say a few words about themselves. And first is a great person, a wonderful person who's committed so much to our community for so many years, Helen Head, representing Chittenden County, running for a second term.
Thank you. Well, it was 3 years ago that I was first elected to the board here the last time we met.
That's right.
And I brought to the experience some housing knowledge, having worked in legal aid, in shared housing, and in the legislature on housing issues. But I was unprepared for how much I needed to learn and wanted to learn once I came on the board. It quickly became apparent how remarkable CHT is and why it is that we are well known in many places around the world, not just in Vermont, for the creative work we've done in developing and maintaining housing. And of course, as you've heard already tonight and will continue to hear throughout the night, I'm sure, the need is great. It continues for rental housing as well as home ownership, and certainly to house people who are homeless, and most especially our BIPOC population. And CHT has really done what's needed to get a lot of this work done. I would like to continue because it's been very meaningful for me. I feel I have more to contribute and would like to be a part of it, so would welcome an opportunity to serve for a second term on the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Helen. And I would tell you that Helen has literally a life experience in service. She has been in service to so many different communities, doing so many different things. She's a fantastic person, and we're lucky to have her. Our other candidate is another fantastic person, Jillian Nanton, a public board member representing the city of Burlington, running for her third term. And Jillian is not somebody to be messed with, so I'm going to be quiet now, Jillian.
Don't believe everything Jeff tells you tonight. That's the first thing I would say. Good evening, folks. My name is Jillian Nanton, and I am a public board member representing the city of Burlington. And as Jeff has said, I'm running for my third term. And here's why I humbly ask for your vote tonight. It really is a distinct pleasure and honor for me to serve with my fellow board members. But more importantly, to support the phenomenal leadership of CHT and its dedicated and hardworking staff. You have heard here tonight the work that CHT is engaged in, more affordable housing than ever before, meeting the challenge of homelessness, and of course, 30 shelter pods on Elmwood Avenue won't do it. But there's more work to be done here. and of course, the expansion of resident services. And so perhaps for me, what I'm really passionate about, though, is the work that CHT does in helping folks realize that American dream of home ownership and all that that entails. The creation of wealth and the building of wealth, the stabilization of communities, and more. But if you look like me, you have to be concerned about the home ownership gap. And CHT is making this work front and center. And I want to be a part of that and continue to be a part of that. So let me close by saying, everyone in this room and outside of this room understands that housing is a human right. I call it a fundamental human right. And as housing prices escalate, and as the struggle for affordable housing continues, I perceive CHT as standing in the breach of that and working to provide and make that right, housing a right for all. So I, Jillian Nanton, humbly ask for your vote for a third term to serve on the CHT Board of Directors. Thank you.
I said this at after another annual meeting, I would run through a wall for that woman right now. Wow, it's always hard to follow Jillian. These two people make up our slate of public board candidates. And again, all members can participate in the voting for these seats. That is, all of you here, including resident members. Nicole, can I get a motion to approve the election of the slate of public board seats? So moved. Yes. And where is my friend Joan? Where is my friend Joan? Joan's not here, so Jesse is my second. Thank you so much. For those of you watching the live stream, we'll now open the poll for voting by CHT members for the election of Helen Head and Jillian Nanton for their terms as public board members. The election is open. And as I wait, Jack's giving me a thumbs up? Not yet. Thumbs up, okay. Now I'm not going to forget this part. For those of you here in person, you are very important. And if you would like to vote yes to approve the election of the slate of the public board candidates, please say aye now. Aye. That was a very important aye. Thank you so much. Anybody voting nay? There being no nays. This confirms our slate of public board members. Congratulations to Helen and Jillian. Now, I'd like to happily invite CEO Michael Monti to join me at the podium for the Open Member Forum.
Okay, you got 5 minutes to ask me any question you want.
Are there any hotels left to buy?
Yes. Yes, I do have a list of questions that came in earlier, and I could read from those if you want. But if there's anybody who does have any questions, I'd be glad to answer. That's the idea here. Back there.
My name is Sark. Can you use the microphone, please?
We kind of need you to use the microphone. So sorry. And if anybody else has a question, come up to the mic, get ready. All right? How's that?
My name is Usha Broussard, and this is my son Joshua Broussard. He is a 15 autistic-year-old, and he's hardly verbal. And we have been homeless for a year now since my landlord sold our property. Me and my son, we've been going from hotel to hotel, and we've just been struggling so hard. And every day I get up and I look for a place, and it's just because of my landlord, no one has been calling me, and I've been struggling to find a place all this time, and I just feel like nobody wants to help me.
And so I hope that we can help you. And I don't know, I can't say more than that right now. I'm glad you're here. Can I have a staff person raise their hand to have a chat with this person? Josie and Mike Oler, they will chat with you right as soon as we're done. How's that?
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Love to you. Next.
Hey, Michael, Lynn
Hi.
Robbins.
Thanks.
I have had a lot of years of experience working in the childcare sector, and I'm just curious to know if any of the new construction that's being done, does any of it include childcare programming or childcare facilities?
Sure, that's a good question. And I think we did support Robin's Nest at the Old North End Community Center. We are actually talking to another child care center in Heinsberg about being a part of a development there with 100 acres of land that somebody donated to us. And we look for that opportunity where we can, and so we actually have had conversations with child care providers to, be responsive to that. This is, the staff know this is a soft spot for me. So if anybody who has a child care center wants to start one or needs some support, just give me a call and we'll respond and we'll work with you on those. Absolutely. Any more questions? Yes, please.
It's a big one.
Uh-oh.
What do you think it's going to take to render an organization like CHT no longer necessary?
No. Seriously? I'm here all night. I know, you're channeling. Yeah, you are. You are channeling, aren't you? Jesus, okay. So I don't know. Other than I would say that if there was a complete change in national priorities, if there was some additional funding and support that went to poor people on a regular basis, if incomes could be, at least the sort of the safety net could be risen to such a point where people could actually live healthy and strong lives, where if there's national health care, I mean, you got to go get me off to exactly the sort of the basic national changes that we have. I think at times it feels like triage. As we sort of do this work, we do great things for people. People move into housing, they feel supported, they are safe, and yet at times it feels like we are, as we sort of just experience, just sort of working through so much stuff, so much trauma, so much stuff. And so, I'd be glad to be done. But I think we've got to have more. We've got a couple of decades left.
And from my dad's heart and words as we were growing up, he used to say, homes. Everyone deserves one before anybody gets two.
Yeah. All right.
I got one.
Okay, come on up. Geez, the whole family's here.
No, this is a simple one.
Okay, good.
What can we do to work together to better leverage the community spaces, the common areas, so we can come together more in smaller, you know what I mean?
Sure. Sure.
And to organize and all this stuff.
Sure. I mean, I think that's a great question. And so, as you know, we are providing some support to the Kemp Center, which is now operating at the corner of Archibald and Riverside. I think I got that right, North Winooski and Riverside, as a sort of community meeting space where that can happen. And we're really happy about providing that support for that group. We're also engaged with the Winooski, city of Winooski. Some of you are here, and trying to move the O'Brien Center, Community Center, into a better facility. Because right now, it's a great facility, but there's a lot more to be done, and we're working community health centers in Burlington and others to really expand that space, improve that space, and make that into a place. We did that with the old North End Community Center at St. Joe's, right? So we think we could do that again as well with the O'Brien Center. Great question. Okay. How many more, Addie, do I have?
Good evening.
I know. Yes.
I'm here on behalf of the Winooski Parents and Students Project.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you mentioned the O'Brien Center.
Yeah.
Because we are a community grassroots initiative organization organizing initiative led by immigrants and refugee onlys. And we don't have a place to meet.
Yes.
And what is going to take for us, immigrants and refugees in Winooski, to have a place to meet without having to pay $25 per hour in the Bryan Center? And actually, before the 2 years, there is planning for you guys to get there.
Right. Okay.
Because we need it now.
That's fair.
We don't need it later.
Yep.
Right now, people want to, it's already the winter. And during the winter, we already facing a lot of isolation. Right now, we're using grants. This project is using grants to pay the O'Brien Center, to have community gatherings. And that shouldn't be the case.
Okay, well, we have spoken on Zoom at least
We
once,
have.
and I'm glad to see you and meet you. And I think that we don't own the O'Brien Center. It's not under our control. The city of Winooski does still own it. We hope to be able to purchase it and begin renovations. So that's going to take some time. Anybody from the city of Winooski want to spend time with our resident here to chat with her about this and sort of have that conversation about what you could do in the interim? Because I think it's going to be some time before we get to a place where you have a new library, you have new meeting rooms, you have a new community kitchen, you have new community health centers, you have new dental clinics. All those things will be coming out of that. But you're right, it's going to take some time. So I'm not sure what to tell you on the interim, and I think hopefully somebody from Winooski could sit with you, and because we're all having dinner together, aren't we? Yeah, we are. So we can have that conversation there too. All right?
Yeah, we would love to hear all the different alternatives from several organizations, not only from the city, because we have had that conversation with the city, but I know that you own other places in Winooski as well. So let's explore some other options. We're here
Okay.
to listen to your alternative.
We'll check.
from
I'll check
all
with.
of them.
I'll check
Thank
with
you.
us. I'll check with our staff for other community meeting rooms and spaces that we have, and double check that. So I think I'm pretty much done. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry. Hi. I was just listening to someone say the need for this to go away, but I'm kind of speaking to the opposite of that. Throughout the country, there is nothing like this in a lot of places.
Sure.
And I'm fortunate and blessed to be part of the organization. Thank you for that. But my concern is how this model, it's my understanding, was developed after Reaganomics as sort of a protection.
1983.
Yeah,
1984,
and I remember that time. I, in fact, left my country and moved to Finland, got married, and didn't want to come back because of what I was seeing, and I'm kind of seeing that again, and it's very scary. So this model, I feel grateful and I feel happy that we have it, but are other people coming to you in different parts of the country saying this is working and this is something that we could branch out and maybe help those communities and
Sure, it's a great question.
throughout the country? I think
great-
this is a model that should exist for everyone,
That's a
not
great
just in
question.
Vermont, and that's all.
Thank you.
And thank you for what you do.
Thank you. And let me just say that we are part of something called the Grounded Solution Network, an African-American-led organization of nonprofits who focus in on shared equity home ownership across the Vermont. We have some shared equity programs here. As a matter of fact, we have a few folks over there who practice shared equity in the corner from other nonprofits, some of my colleagues. But we do this throughout this work is happening throughout the country. And that this model is taking off. There is additional support for this. I think it's slow. I'm so impatient. So I appreciate how, sort of this feeling of despair sometimes that we're not moving quick enough on these things. But there is a national group. There's an international group. We actually hired Brenda Torpy to help us out, to assist people around the country to do that. She actually went to Europe to work with folks there too, in order to extend this model. So it is not something that just sits in my back pocket or a handful of back pockets at CHT, but it is have an international movement. So I think, I got one more. And I hate to say no. Hurry up, come on. I'm already getting you looked at and yelled at. Okay, good, thank you.
Hi. When I first moved to Vermont, when I first heard of CHT and considered applying, I heard, now I don't know if it was accurate information back then, but I I was told that I'd have to have like adequate income to be eligible for the program. And I wanted to find out if those policies have changed since then, if that was actually what was, the actual policy then. Has that changed since then? And how is it for people who are not able to work, people who don't have an employment income?
Sure.
Are people like, I'm disabled, are people like me able to sign up for the home ownership program without that employment income?
Okay, so I think the first thing, it's a great question, and the first thing you need to do is work with our counselors and educators so that they could sit down with you and say, okay, let's look at you, let's look at what you have for income, let's look at your credit rating, let's sort of see what you could afford, let's work with you if you're not ready yet to get ready, all of those things. Julie Curtin, where are you? Stand up. Julie, see this person afterwards. She's the head of that, so.
Okay.
How's that?
That's good.
Okay.
I'll ask her more.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Especially since they have to run off.
Stop looking at me, it's fine.
Addie's been yelling at me all day, just so we know. So here's a set of instructions. I think the meeting is over. Do you want to say it's adjourned, and then I got to give people instructions?
Yeah, so if there are other questions that don't get addressed, certainly feel free to email Michael, and we'll provide his contact information if anybody wants to, because we want to make sure that your questions are answered. And so I want to thank you all, because that concludes the business portion of our 2023 Champlain Housing Trust annual meeting. Thank you all for your participation. This is wonderful.
Okay, but don't run off. I have to give you instructions. That way I don't get into trouble. First, if you didn't check in with staff when you arrived, please do so at the tables outside the ballroom. That way we can make sure that we give you a meal choice ticket, and also so that if you're parking or anything else like that, you can get some help with that as well. There are a handful of staff with lanyards. They're rainbow colored. If you have any questions, ask them. Certainly tackle me if you also need some support help. So we're going to get ready to serve dinner, and the sooner we are seated, the sooner we all get fed. All right. So take your belongings and head down the hall to the left of the outer ballroom. Actually, go out the doors and head that way, and that's where the bar is as well. So have your drinks. Thank you so much.